All right, so there are 120 million Steam users on this planet Earth with over 50,000 games. It almost made this device inevitable, the Steam Deck, when you compare something to like the Nintendo Switch, which only has 5,000 games. So it has 10 times the amount of games and it's not even close. Now, luckily, one of my friends put in a pre-order and he gave me 2 weeks with this device to let me, and most importantly, you, see if the Steam Deck is worth it. In the box, you're gonna get the device, you're gonna get this hard case, which is very nice to keep it very safe. Then they've got an elastic band on the back so you can keep your charger or any other accessories that you might wanna put back there. Also, they gave us a cleaning cloth for the screen. Looking at the build quality of the Steam Deck, it actually has an all plastic design, which actually keeps the device pretty light for how big the device is. For comparison, it's about 2 times or a little over 2 times the weight of a Nintendo Switch. And actually using it in everyday life, it doesn't get too heavy on you. I never felt a sense of fatigue while using the device. When holding it up, it has these nice ergonomic grips on the left and right side for your hands. Along the top side, they also have a power button, a fan which gets pretty loud and actually fires up anytime you're playing a game. You've got the USB charger firing out the top. You also got the headphone jack firing out the top. Now this can cause some stress if you do have some earbuds plugged into it, but if you do have like an angled one, it can just go and wrap around the backside. I would have liked to see the headphone jack on the bottom. Would have been kind of nice just to have it there so the cable's just out of the way and not stressing your headphones. Also on the top, they've got some volume buttons as well. Looking at the rest of the buttons, the first thing that stood out to me was the Y, X, A, and B feel a little cheap to me. They're a little like loose. Like, you see that? I don't know, just for a device of this price, which we'll get to in a second, it doesn't feel as premium as you would like. Now, what does feel premium and what I do like are these joysticks, which are very nice, very responsive, very smooth. Also, they have the D-pad, which also feels pretty nice. It's just these buttons at the top right. Now, they've also got these touch pads on either side, which are really, really cool. They've also got triggers on the top sides as well as on the grips. So they've got a ton of different buttons. So you can rest assured whatever game you're playing, you're gonna have enough buttons. Then also on the front side, they have the Steam, which lets you get to the home, as well as some quick settings on the right side with the 3 dots. And there you can mess around with the brightness, some of the performance if you are lacking on the battery. Overall, I did really enjoy using this device. Now, the resolution of the screen is 1280 by 800. It's not a 1080p screen, but for the size of the screen and when I was playing my games, I didn't notice a lack of sharpness. Games didn't look soft even on AAA titles. And you have to remember, this is an on-the-go device. If you do want to play this on a TV or play this on your computer, you can go ahead and do that because Steam is everywhere. They also have a dock which has HDMI 2.0, a DisplayPort 1.4, which you can connect to a TV, and this can go up to, I believe, 8K 60 frames per second. So it is pretty future-proof, but for me, if I'm doing that, I might as well just hop on my PC. This is just for on the go. The screen gets fairly bright, it's 400 nits, and if you're gonna be traveling a lot, if you're gonna be outside, that 400 nits really comes into play. I never had an issue seeing my games while I was out, so that's gonna be great for you travelers. I really like the contrast on the screen. It looks good, especially when you're playing AAA titles. I was playing the Jedi Fallen Order. For me, my lightsaber was popping. So don't be afraid that this isn't 1080p. It's still a really good screen. Now for the storage, there's a couple of options. They give you the base model, which is 64 gigs, that's $400. And then you got the 256 coming in at $550. And then you've got the 512 coming in at $650. So the price gets up there, about a $250 jump from the base model. But there is a micro SD slot on here, so you can upgrade up to, I believe, 1 terabyte on this. Now, for the most part, I think people can hop in on this for the base model, just get a micro SD and probably save some cash. You can get a 1 terabyte for about $165. You can also get a 256 for around $60. So there is ways to, you know, bump up the storage on here. I don't know how many games you want to have on here, but it seems like most of the AAA titles are up in the 50 to 80 gigs on the higher end. So you can fit a couple of games on here. One thing I do want to touch on about the hard drive and the different models is that the 64 gig does have the slower drive compared to the 256 and the 512. But I've seen other results. I think Dave2D ran a test and he was actually using the micro SD and the boot times were roughly the same. So for the performance, this is running the Steam OS 3. All you have to do is just log in with your account, go, and all your library is gonna be there. Good guy Steam, I'm so happy that they didn't pull one of those, oh, you gotta buy the Steam Deck version of your game. No, your whole library is there. Now, there are some compatibility issues with some games, but I believe it is getting better. Not all games are fully compatible, but for the games that said that, I still didn't have an issue. Like, I believe Jedi wasn't fully there, but it still works perfectly. I didn't notice anything. They give you prompts on the screen as to what to press on the Steam Deck compared to your computer. I mostly played the AAA titles that I like Jedi Fallen Order. I was finishing up that game. Elden Ring, all of them look great on this at 60 frames. Now, I know what you're gonna say, the screen is only 60 hertz. Where's the 120? Well, I believe eventually they're gonna do that, not now. This is probably gonna become like the base model, and then when the Steam Deck 2 comes out with an updated screen, they got somewhere to go. They can't just give us all 120 hertz or 144 hertz right off the bat. They're gonna like give us a 60 hertz first, make us want more. Then they say, hey, here's the new Steam Deck 2 with the new beautiful screen on it. Consumerism, am I right? Now, the next topic I want to talk about is the battery, which actually has to do with the performance, because you can't put this into a performance mode where you cut the frames per second in half to about 30, but in games, you're definitely gonna see the difference. I cannot play AAA titles at 30. Some of the simpler games, you can get away with 30, save yourself some battery. The battery life is rated at 2 to 8 hours. When I was playing Jedi Fallen Order, I was only getting around an hour and a half. So as a traveling device, I'm not quite sold on it, which is mainly what I would use this for. You're gonna have to plug it in probably more times than not. So if you're planning on, you know, having a 8-hour flight or a 6-hour flight, and you want to play like your favorite game, like a AAA title, you're gonna run out of battery. You're not gonna be playing for the whole flight, but at least you get some of the flight, right? So pretty much this is a PC. Okay, it has like the Zen 2 in there. It's crazy how much power they've put into this, where you can run pretty much anything on Steam. And having this portable PC with this huge library makes this feel like a next-gen device. When I was playing Jedi Fallen Order, I felt like I was playing something next level. I felt like this is the next evolution of handheld. Nintendo Switch, they got us with the nostalgia. They got the Marios, they've got the Super Smash, you know, they've got the Mario Kart. But when it comes to next gen, we're kind of missing that like PlayStation, that Xbox level device. And I believe that this is it. One mark of a good device, in my opinion, is, do I want to come back to it? And I felt like, you know, when I was outside or when I went out, when I went to work, I would come home and the first thing I wanted to do was grab the Steam Deck. I wanted to de-stress with this. Sometimes you don't want to be on your PC. Sometimes people are too toxic on Valorant, you know? And for those times when I want to just be away from my setup, when I want to be downstairs in my house, if I want to be at a different part, I want to be outside, just vibing, playing some games, chilling, relaxed, I just grabbed the Steam Deck. And I wanted to come back to this device, and that's how I knew I wanted to put in that pre-order. But Steam, like I said, their reach, 120 million people using Steam. 50,000 games with, it doesn't even look like it's going to be stopping, because most titles, if they're on a console, very rarely do we see games not on Steam. So if you play Assassin's Creed, if you want to play AAA titles, if you want to play simpler games, just like some mobile type games, it can do everything. Even though I was a little bit disappointed with the battery life, I still think that this device is worth picking up. And like I said, I'm going to be putting in a pre-order myself. So if you're a Steam user, this thing is a no-brainer. If you're somebody that is new to the Steam ecosystem, also a no-brainer because of just the vast library. You're gonna find something that you like, especially if you're somebody that's on the go, you travel a lot, you want a nice device. The Steam Deck is, I believe, a nice pickup. All right, so thank you to my friend Paul for letting me check out the Steam Deck. I really appreciate it because I will be picking one up. I believe these are shipping around September through December, so if you wanna beat that holiday rush, now would be a great time to put in that order. All right, guys, it has been your boy BT. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.